those poor unfortunate souls.
Hello, and welcome to a very special bonus episode of Poor Unfortunate Podcast. I'm Caroline Ameti.
And I'm Connor Perkins. This is the Disney podcast for grown-ups where we shoot the shit about Disney the way that you do with your friends. Welcome to all of our returning listeners. It is great having you back here with us. And welcome to any new listeners. Thank you so much for hitting play. Please also remember to hit follow or subscribe wherever you're listening to the podcast. That way all of our episodes download to your device. You don't miss out on anything. And then at the end of the episode, please make sure that you hit 5 stars and leave a written review or comment wherever you're listening. That way we're seen in search results. We get suggested to people. Your review or your comment could be the difference between someone passing us by or hitting play. So thanks so much for taking the time it takes to do that. Alrighty. Caroline, tell everybody what we're doing today.
We're doing your birthday bonus episode. This is your first birthday bonus.
I know, I've never had a birthday bonus.
Time. So when we realized that Connor needed a birthday bonus episode, we were like, let's do a debrief. They're super fun. And we were like, do we talk about a movie that's one of Connor's favorites, maybe? Or do we talk about a movie that Connor's never seen before? So we left it all up to you on Instagram. So if you're not following us on Instagram, that's a great reason to do it. You can give a lot of input about the episodes on there. So we shared a list of movies that are some of Connor's favorites, and we shared a list of movies that Connor has never seen. And we let everyone vote. And our top 3 choices were 2 movies that are 2 of Connor's favorites, being The Rescuers, and what was the other one?
It was The Rescuers, and it was A Great Mouse Detective.
And Great Mouse. Yeah. Everybody wanted to give Connor a chance to talk about Ratigan, and that was very sweet of you. And then the third option was the clear winner of the category of movies that Connor has never seen, and that was a Goofy movie.
And listen, y'all roasted me for this. And
everybody kind of came for you.
I will just say,
for you.
I have seen pieces of a Goofy movie. I just have not ever sat down and watched it straight through beginning to end. But that has changed.
Yes.
So now you can all go.
It totally cleaned. Yes, it totally cleaned up. Everybody needed Connor to watch a Goofy movie. And I honestly feel like it could not have come at a better time.
Yeah, because this is coming out right after Father's Day.
Father's Day, yes, this episode is releasing the day after Father's Day. It was just the 30th anniversary of the movie. And it's they're celebrating the start of summer vacation at the beginning of the movie. And we are basically at that point as well. So I feel like this was the perfect time for us to talk about a Goofy movie.
I agree.
Woo! I'm so excited to hear what you thought. I haven't watched this in decades. The clearest memory that I have of it is Out on the Open Road was part of one of my favorite Disney sing-along songs sets. So I listen to that song all the time. But I haven't seen the full movie in years.
Not anymore.
Oh my gosh. So should we, we don't do a ton of this with our debriefs, but should we give everybody just a little I can give everybody a tiny touch of background information.
Give them a tiny touch.
Just a tiny touch. Tiny touch. So a Goofy movie was released on April 7th, 1995. And something I didn't remember is that it's a spinoff, basically, of the TV series Goof Troop. If any of you watched that when you were younger, I wasn't a big Goof Troop viewer, maybe here and there.
I wasn't generally a big Goofy person at all.
Yeah.
I'm very much Team Donald.
You're Donald. You're Donald.
We share a birthday.
Yes,
so
also happy birthday, Donald.
It kind of feels a little bit weird, talking about a Goofy movie for mine and Donald's birthday. It feels like a little bit of a betrayal.
Yeah.
Donald was my guy because I always felt like in the 90s and the early 2000s, Goofy was just constantly being pushed over Donald. Goofy and Pluto were being pushed over Donald. So many things, they'd be like, oh, we have Fab 5 characters, but we only have 4 of them. And Donald was being left out. When you go into the parks, you could get the Goofy hat, you could get the Pluto hat, but they didn't have a Donald hat at the time. They do now.
Ooh,
but they didn't have
and not
one,
in
and
the
I was
90s.
pissed.
And those and again, the Disneyland sing-along song, everybody's wearing those hats, but there is no Donald hat.
Yeah, there's no Donald hat. So I don't have anything Goofy to wear, so I'm wearing my Donald cake-worthy today.
I love that.
My birthday twin.
But yes, this was based on Goof Troop. It is directed by Kevin Lima. It had a pretty slim $18 million budget, and the box office was $37.6 million, but it was considered kind of like not a box office or critical success, really. It really took off once it was released on home video and has obviously, as we all know now, become very much a cult hit. And some of the voice actors in this film, I needed to look it up because I kind of just let it wash over me and I heard a lot of voices that I knew. So we have Bill Farmer as Goofy, Jason Marsden, who is also the voice of Banks in Hocus Pocus, as Max, with Aaron Lohr providing Max's singing voice. Very, very lovely singing voice for Max. We have Jim Cummings, the one and only, as Pete, Kelly Martin as Roxanne, Rob Paulson as PJ, and Wallace Shaw, and that was the one that popped out at me, as Principal Mazer for some of the
Which
voice
is
cast.
so fun. I mean, I just love whenever Wallace Shawn pops up, but it's like also very fun because like Wallace Shawn, in addition to being like Rex in Toy Story, is
Always.
also the boss in The Incredibles. That is a very similar type of character to the principal in the Goofy movie. So I was just like, oh, very interesting.
We love you,
It's like
Wallace
a
Shawn.
narc principal, a narc authority figure that you just want to punch.
Narc authority figure. Amazing.
He does it so well.
He does it so well. So as we usually do with these debriefs, we kind of will just move through the plot and we'll just chat. We haven't shared any thoughts about this movie with each other yet, so this should be fun.
Not a bit.
Yeah.
Also, so just like some initial little thoughts.
Yes, tell me.
It's a musical.
It's a musical. That is
I
the best part of it.
I knew Standout and I know Eye to Eye.
Yeah.
I just like didn't know that like it's like a full musical. It's a full Disney musical.
And the music is really good.
It's very good. Like
I honestly, that is the best part of this movie for me is the music.
It has an opening number. So like let's jump into the plot. I'm just taking this from the Disney Wiki as our sort of guide through the movie.
Yeah.
It is the last day of school before summer vacation for Goofy's teenage son, Max, who has a plan to shed his goof label and impress his crush, Roxanne, especially after waking up from a dream-turned-nightmare involving Max mutating into Goofy, terrifying her away right when she was just about to kiss him. That scene is
I fully forgot that that's how the movie opened.
It's so well done.
It's well done. It's I mean, obviously it's a very funny way to start the movie, but it's interesting. Like it really sets up some very serious Freudian stuff where it's like, I will scare off the person I love if I am like my dad. Like I turn into my dad.
Yeah.
There's some shit going on.
I mean, I think that's just like kind of like the overall thing of it is like being afraid to turn into your parents is like such a thing. And
I also think the conceit of like, I mean, it's based on Goof Troop, so it's not original to this movie, but I think just like, Goofy as a dad, this guy who is always falling into mishaps and catastrophes, as he says, what would he be like as a parent? Now, I do not know. So sorry to anybody. I know we have some very, very like strong Goofy, Goof Troop, Goofy movie fans out there. So apologies. This is not super my area of Disney expertise. Have we ever spoken about Mrs. Goofy in Goof Troop? Like Max's mom? Who's his mom?
He doesn't have one. Like, I mean, he does, but like,
oh my God,
Goofy's always a single dad, which I kind of love. Like, even when I think about Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas, I love the Max and Goofy short there.
Yeah. We got to such an emotional place in points of this film that I thought that, I didn't remember a lot about this, I'm not going to lie. And I was surprised that it didn't come up. Like, I thought there was one point where Goofy got a very emotional look on his face, and I thought they were going to talk about Max's mom, and we didn't. Very interesting.
No. They said, fuck her drag. So, Max and his two friends, PJ and Bobby, which, okay, PJ, like, this is the part that I would play in the Broadway musical of it. Like, that's... it's just like the type.
Oh my God. And every MT girly on the Eastern Coast would want to be Roxanne.
Everyone.
Because like growing up, you just wanted to
Roxanne.
be her. She's so cute. She's hot.
She's
just hot.
Okay, that's the other thing. Okay. So we have this whole opening number that's like a Grease hairspray style opening number, like down to Max being like climbing up the bleachers and like having that sort of like looking out over the chain link fence. It's so that I was like, I'm into this, but also, okay, why are these characters so hot?
Oh, that was one of my things that I needed to discuss with you is like, They're very hot for high
They're hot.
schoolers. They're hot, but that's why, again, this is such a 90s movie, and that's such a 90s thing. It's just like bodacious bodies.
Like Roxanne's hot.
Roxanne's hot. There were lots of like girlies with like booties.
Cheerleaders.
Yeah.
They're hot. That one jock who has the like Dimitri 90s boy hairstyle who leans over Roxanne's shoulder in the auditorium.
Oh, and
like,
tries to like
"Hey."
steal her.
And he's like, "Hey, Roxanne, do you want to go to the party?" I'm like,
yeah. You're like, I want to go to the party. You want to go to the party with him.
"Who gave you the right?"
My one problem is like, yes.
And I feel bad. This is not Robin Hood. This is not Robin Hood.
No, it is not. It makes you uncomfortable to feel that
This is something
way.
else because they feel other. They feel something.
Well,
I feel wrong. Where like Robin Hood, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I know it's wrong, but I'm right.
Because sometimes it's just like with Robin Hood, you're like, okay, like I think this fox is hot. Some of these animals, I'm not sure what animal they are. Like clearly, like Roxanne's dad is a dog, but she's a dog.
I know they don't look like dogs. Like a lot of them are dogs, and then there are cats.
Dogs.
But then some of the dogs own pet cats that are not like the cats that are anthropomorphized.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't think I'm supposed to spend time on the logic.
I think that's kind of the case with a lot of this movie is just like let it wash over you, but you know us. But I did have a little bit of a problem. Again, it's a 90s movie. I mean, at the end of the day, Max is also a high school kid. He's a high school boy. But like the way he's like ogling the ladies multiple times, I'm like, brother,
yeah.
please,
Oh my God. That one moment at the end.
With the backup dancers. I was like, that is so rude.
Yeah, I didn't love that.
I didn't like that.
Okay. I didn't love that. Okay, well, let's jump back to the beginning. Where we're, just so deliciously 90s. We get introduced to PJ and Bobby. Bobby is like 90s to the core. From the glasses, the obsession with the cheese whiz.
Oh my God.
The way that he speaks, it's just...
This whole thing makes me feel like I'm watching, like I'm having some like Captain Crunch and I'm like watching a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, it's like full time capsule moment. Like I'm drinking out of one of those cups with the like blue and the purple like squiggle thing. fully.
Yep.
Okay, so Max and his friends, PJ and Bobby, they hijack the auditorium stage in the middle of the principal's speech, creating a small concert where Max performs while costumed as Powerline, a famous pop superstar. The performance succeeds in making Max a school celebrity as planned, but Principal Mazer puts it to an abrupt halt, and they are sent to his office to be punished. Okay, so let's talk about this scene. This is Standout.
I love Standout.
It's so good.
I love it just as much as Eye to Eye. I really do. Standout is so damn good. Yeah.
No, I love it too. And I'm just like, I don't know. I think for some reason in my brain, I always have Standout coming later in the film.
Same.
But nope, we're like right in and it's
right in
Standout and he's doing this. Now, I'm not 100% sure why he's doing this.
Listen, this is probably going to become annoying to people because it's like, yes, I really don't think we're supposed to think very critically about this movie. But I'm like, I guess everybody likes Powerline in this. Like, there is not a person who doesn't like Powerline.
Yeah.
But it's like, how does he know that that's the kind of thing that she's going to be into?
Yeah, and I was like, is this...
It's because he's invisible, so this is the only way not to be invisible.
He's going to turn it into a concert right before the end of school so that he's cool right before they all go on break.
Right.
Again, no complaints about it. Like, I'm into it. I'm just like, from the Conor of it all, I'm logicking. And I'm like, and I know I'm not supposed to think very hard about this at all. But whatever.
I like love Max?
I kind of do. And maybe
he's
it's
okay
because
for me. I don't know.
I think a part of it is that I bring a lot of the Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas Max.
Yeah.
That Max is my favorite Max.
Goof Troop, he's like 11 in Goof Troop. Like he's
so young and he's just like, Dad.
Yeah, right. Well, so we're feeling like Goofy where we're like, bring back the baby I once knew.
I know.
Little shit.
I know, but I also feel bad for like his self-esteem. And
I get it. They're all things we've all felt when we were in high school. Like I feel his struggle for sure. But he makes some interesting choices.
He does.
Yeah.
But Standout happens. I don't know what tech package they're working with that makes this happen.
So good.
It's
He also has
fully
moves. Like, good for him. Like, he does well. He does
he
very
has
well.
swagger, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
where is this in the rest of your I
Almost like join the theater
honestly
department, sir.
well, I almost thought that, like, that is something that could have been a little bit of a theme that carried into the rest of the film of, like, the confidence that he has when he's hiding.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, like, I could have used a little bit of a sprinkle of that more, or even just a callback to the Powerline, the moment he performed as Powerline in his
Mm-hmm.
final conversation with Roxanne or something, of just, like,
Yeah.
saying where she's like, "I don't know why you felt like you needed to hide from me." And she's like, "I knew that was you." If she
Mm-hmm.
had, like, that moment where she's like, "I know that it was you who was Powerline right from the beginning," or
Yeah.
"I don't know why you felt like you needed to do that." And just to sort of, like, bring that side of him to a close, because I don't know if that fully, like, that circle fully closed out for me, but
Or even like if it's like we turn up the volume on like he is obsessed with Powerline and like wants to be just like him. So yeah, like draws upon so I wish we knew more about Powerline. I love Powerline. So
yeah.
like I wish it was like these are the things that Powerline is. And
Yeah.
Max wants to be this and he uses that as his driving force through the movie to be like when he needs to be confident, when he needs this, he's like what would Powerline do?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
his lesson learned is you don't need
You can
Powerline to do
be
those. You
you.
have all of those things all along,
Yeah.
which that's the part of it
Yeah.
that I was, like, picking up the Cyrano de Bergerac vibes of it all.
Oh,
Like,
right.
not even with, like, her name just being
Right,
Roxanne and everything,
right.
but there are, like, little hints of Cyrano de Bergerac in
Mhm.
the first section of the movie before the road trip happens. All of
Yes.
the stuff happening with Roxanne, even, like, the fact that he has, like, an elongated nose. He
Mhm.
is hiding. He's using this Powerline persona as, like, this sort of, like, veil between him and Roxanne. I was like,
They should have just gone with that.
and
That
that's
would've
why
been
I was
such a
like,
good movie.
"Whoa," and then it just pivots and it turns into the father-son film, which is
Which is
fantastic.
great and was the point. But, like, wait, we have always talked about I don't think we've also ever really talked about Cyrano with people on this podcast, and y'all, long story short is I can't believe this is where we got to. This is so funny. Long story short is when we were acting school, which is where Connor and I met, you did a big second year project where it's like
It's
you
like a
choose
senior thesis
it's
kinda
like your
thing.
thesis, yes. And so Connor's was Cyrano de Bergerac, which is if you've never read that play, my God,
It's so
one of the
good.
best plays in the universe. And you were partnered with someone to play like the one of the other large characters in the play. And we forced our way into being partners. So I was Connor's partner. And we are obsessed with Cyrano de Bergerac. We know everything about it. We love everything about it. And we've always been like, that could become a Disney movie.
It's primed and ready, and
Primed
I think
and
we
yeah.
saw a lot of the, like,
Yeah,
the groundwork being laid in this, where I feel
absolutely.
like even if they wanted to now do something else with Goof Troop, just,
Yeah.
like, go back to, like, this time and, like, maybe do something, like, almost like a prequel to a Goofy movie that is
Mm.
Max trying to woo Roxanne
Via Powerline.
via Powerline, and then it could lead
Mm.
into the plot of a Goofy movie and sort of, like, resolves at the top.
That would've been so fun. Oh my gosh.
I think
It's
that we
never
can
too
do
late.
it.
It's never
You
too
know
late.
how Lion King 1.5 uses, like, plot points
Mhm.
within The Lion King and then,
Mhm.
like, recontextualizes them? The
Mhm.
ending of this imaginary prequel, Cyrano de Bergerac prequel to a Goofy movie would be the first, like, 25 minutes of a Goofy movie.
Oh my
Like, and then it's
god.
just like, that's the ending of one, and then
Mhm.
food for thought. Okay, so while waiting outside of Principal Mazur's office, Roxanne talks to Max, and they both agree to go together to a party that Roxanne's friend and Studi Body president Stacy is holding to watch Powerline's latest concert on pay-per-view.
Ooh, throwback.
I think this scene is very cute. I'm like, I'm just so happy for them. I'm like, oh yay, it's clicking. It's
Yeah, and I love
nice.
that they're both shy. Like she's not like the
Uh-huh.
beautiful, confident one. Like Yeah, they're very much they're a good match.
They
They're
are
a
a
good
really
match.
good match.
She's very sweet. I love her.
But unknown to Max, Mazer calls Goofy while at work. His job is a department store's children's photographer with Pete, which, again, that is also such a 90s time capsule moment. The department store
Seriously.
photograph.
Seriously. Yes.
I love a good department store photograph.
I know. I was also just looking at that department store and I'm like, I want to visit.
So that's what Goofy's job is. But he gets a call from the principal, who is enraged and in an overreactive state regarding Max's actions in the auditorium. And to try and rebuild his public image with the student body, he reports Max's actions as, quote, dressed as a gang member. Your son caused the entire student body to break into a riotous frenzy, end quote. And so, believing Mazer's warning that Max is exhibiting behavior that will lead him to a life of criminality, ending in the electric chair,
There are so many pieces of this that I'm like, what?
Goofy
Okay.
decides to reestablish his relationship with his son, which has drifted apart over the years. I actually I really love Pete in this movie because he's not I love that he's just not as overtly aggressive as he usually is in movies, where it's like he's not mean and nasty to Goofy.
Yeah, I just hate him. I hate him.
Okay, well, that's fine. But like he's not mean and nasty to Goofy. He's just like a curmudgeon.
Yeah.
The moment where he velcros the child to the table, I was
know,
like
that whole
cackling.
sequence, that
Where
little
he's like, I'm
child.
good with kids too.
Oh my
I'm like, no, you're not at all. But no, that sequence was very cute because you get to see Goofy like being a good dad and being a good dad to like young
kids loving
kids
him. Yeah.
and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, people really respond to this. And then it's like, what is the disconnect with Max? So I think that was a really good choice. And to like find a way to satisfy that in his occupation being something that is so very 90s.
Yeah. Yep.
But then also just like really, really satisfies the brief. Like,
Yeah.
super good.
Yeah.
So then Goofy decides during a blue light special where he sees the little figurine that's like fishing. He's like, I'm going to take Max on a fishing trip to Lake Destiny in Idaho on the same route that he and his father took years before. So Max fully like just gets home and is like he's on cloud 9 because he's gonna go to this party. He has a date with Roxanne. Everything's great. And Goofy has the whole ass carb packed and ready to go. So Max tries to dissuade Goofy from doing this trip, but he is shoved into the family car, a yellow AMC Pacer wagon, and the trip begins. But not before Max visits Roxanne at her house to tell her the news. So then we get this scene. So he knocks on her door and we meet Roxanne's dad, who is like a bulldog.
Oh my God, a gigantic bulldog. Yeah.
Who never speaks.
Never speaks. And she always is just like managing him. There's something very toxic going on there. I'm actually concerned for her home life. She's giving off like, again, this is very like they were trying to go for like John Hughes, but Goofy, and this is that for me.
This is like blink twice
yeah.
if you need help, like that.
Yeah.
Very, very that. So Max tells Roxanne the news. When Roxanne disappointingly mentions possibly finding someone else to go with to the party, Max quickly creates a lie that he and Goofy are going to the Powerline concert in Los Angeles and will be on stage with Powerline. Roxanne, though initially dubious, falls for it. And then Goofy and Max head out on their uneasy road trip, but it's just not as incredibly fun as Goofy hoped. So before they leave, Max has invented this lie that he's going. And it's so interesting because I'm just like, they have one of those moments where they're like talking at the same time. I'm like, oh, you two aren't hearing each other.
But also like the fact that it's like that was the thing that finally made her like relax and be like, oh, cool. I'm not getting totally ditched. Like it's because you're going on stage with Powerline. It's like, I don't know. I'm thinking way too hard about a Goofy movie. But now that we have pointed out the Cyrano aspect of it, it makes a bit
You're more protective of it.
It makes it, maybe that is what it is. But I'm also like, okay, I've got it. Because I'm also like, why was it enough that it's like he's going to the Powerline concert, or again, we
Yeah,
wouldn't
or
have a
like
movie, but like
why wasn't it enough that he was saying like my dad
my
just
dad
sprung an
just
impromptu
right.
vacation on me and I'm
Because I
not
guess it's
going to
just
be
like
here.
high school, so it's like super uncool that it's like your dad is deciding things for you. I guess we just have to go. We have to go with that.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. You know what?
See, I'm surprised that you didn't get up in arms of like her being like, oh, just take someone else. And he creates a lie so that she doesn't go with someone else. Or you're like,
yeah.
you don't own her. I was waiting for you to do that. But you
I
didn't.
feel it all, but
Okay,
I'm
she
just
does.
trying to like loosen my grip on a Goofy movie. Okay, what can I say?
Fair enough. So all of this is really just a setup of like, how are we going to get Max and Goofy on this road trip together? And so now they head off and they, start singing the song On the Open Road.
This song is just so special to me. This really reminds me of my childhood, this song. I really, really love it. Again, the music, 10 out of 10 for me. Love.
We've got the nuns in the car.
I love that the nuns keep reappearing. They finally make it to the Powerline concert. I love them. I love them.
Yeah.
It's giving very much the nuns from Sound of Music.
Very much. The one with the glasses, the small glasses.
Yes,
that's
right?
fully one of the short
Am I crazy?
Nun. That is fully the short nun in the Sound of Music.
And there's something about their vibe that is just so slightly fun and badass. Yeah, it's giving, yeah.
And I mean, there's also like a lot of other, there are plenty of Easter eggs and homages.
Yes,
Ariel homages that show up a couple of times. And
even them talking about Walt Disney.
About
like that's
Walt
not
Disney.
an Easter egg, but also just like the meta-ness of it all is
so
funny.
Mickey and Donald during that scene.
Yeah.
But then we get to my favorite part of the film.
Mine too. Because we're the same person. We're the same person.
So the trip starts out on bad foot, to say the least. While Goofy tries to bond with Max, Max is sullen. Goofy later makes a stop at a rundown theme park called Lester's Possum Park, which Goofy had gone to as a boy.
It's so our aesthetic. It's so good.
It's too brilliant.
It's so good.
Lester's Possum Park. How does one come up with that? This scene is everything and gives birth to, I think, maybe my favorite character in all of Disney. And that is the announcer ahead of the show.
Oh my God.
This man, I don't know what they were trying to do, but he shakes. He shakes a lot. And I just keep thinking of like the animators intentionally animated every shake of this old man.
Yes.
It's just so funny to me. So after we are introduced to my absolute favorite character in the world, this old cowboy man at Lester's Possum Park. So they watch this kind of country bear jamboree.
Very country bear. So
animatronic possum show, which malfunctions. And then afterward, Max is humiliated by having a possum leap down his pants and then being dragged into a country dance by Goofy. Okay, so
I get why he's embarrassed of his dad. All right.
But this scene where the character comes over to him and is like trying to cheer him up.
That one I remember. That was one of the moments where I was like, yes, I remember watching this as a kid because for some reason that image was very clear.
The image of him punching the man, the head the opposite way.
Yes.
But the best part is when he's stumbling off and he falls down and all the kids descend on him and lift him and carry him away. So then Goofy goes over, he takes a photo with the possums, and then one of the possums gets flung into Max's pants.
Of course, yes.
As one does. And they have the most amazing hats, the dead possum hats.
I know.
Perfection.
We should have turned the Frontierland Shootin' Arcade into a little possum show.
I mean,
even if it didn't play for free, if you made me put in a quarter to watch that, I would do it.
I would pay the quarter. I would absolutely pay the quarter for Lester's Possum Posse.
So good.
Oh my God. Good. So Max, in his humiliation from all of this, he attempts to hitchhike back home, which upsets Goofy.
That part made me really sad.
Yeah. Because he thought
a couple of points of this made me really sad.
Yeah, it did for me too. because he thought Max and him were having fun. Goofy thought they were having fun, but Max
Ow, that hurts my chest. Oh, he thought they were having fun.
is
Oh.
enraged to be dragged into what he calls some stupid rat show. But then the next day, they unexpectedly run into Pete and PJ, who arrive at their campsite in their high-tech RV, which this RV
Again, another 90s fantasy.
has everything. It
Yeah,
has a
everything.
pool.
Yeah, it's everything.
It has the bowling alley on top, the huge
Bowling.
stereo. Also, like, PJ's just like cleaning the thing.
Always. Again, another child that I'm worried about.
Mm-hmm. So they're in their high-tech RV. They invite Max and Goofy to have dinner with them, which is something that I'm like, listen, Pete, the usual Pete would never in a million years invite Goofy to have
True.
dinner. So
True.
that was like, I was like, oh, this is interesting. Pete is going to be an antagonist to Goofy in a different type of way than he
He's
usually
more
is.
manipulative.
Yeah, it's more subtle. It's more like, oh, you have to do this. Oh, you have to, as opposed to I'm out to like get you or something like that.
Yeah.
So they are invited to dinner. Max and Goofy says, hey, we're going to go do fishing. And they go over to fish. And he's trying to show Max how to do what's called the perfect cast. Which
this is such classic Goofy humor.
Yeah,
which I
it's
love. The physical
10
Goofy
o'clock,
humor.
2 o'clock, 6 o'clock, spin around, like all that stuff.
And the way that it comes back later, I loved. I loved. Yeah.
So Goofy does this perfect cast, and in the middle of it, accidentally picks up one of the steaks that Pete is cooking and sends it flying across this like lake.
Stupid.
And then it lands in front of Bigfoot.
Again, I really must have only seen this a few times because if you told me Bigfoot was in this, I would
told me that
like, you're
Bigfoot
wrong.
is like an animated character in Disney canon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he is. So Bigfoot takes the meat and Goofy reels him in, and then they are completely terrorized by Bigfoot. And Pete and PJ completely like hightail it out of there in their RV. Goofy and Max take refuge inside their car as Bigfoot just completely ransacks the entire campsite and all of their shit. Bigfoot has the car keys, so they have to spend the night in the car.
Bigfoot has the car keys.
One of my favorite moments that happens is the like cutaway of like the two of them waiting there and it's nighttime and they're like, do you think he's gone? And then the sock puppet comes up. And Bigfoot is doing a sock puppet show for Goofy and Max, and Goofy is not having it. Goofy's just like, yeah, he's still there. This is just like stupid humor, and I love it. I love it. It works so well.
We needed it. Yeah, we needed it. To balance out the stuff that's pretty emotional. Like, we needed some stupid.
So while Goofy is asleep in the car, Max decides to change the roadmap destination from Idaho to Los Angeles so that they can actually go to the Powerline concert, and he's not lying.
Silly.
The next morning, Goofy, after they've like escaped Bigfoot and everything.
Oh my God, and they have the moment with the Hi Dad soup.
Oh my God, I forgot about Hi Dad soup.
Hi Dad soup.
That got me. That made me
got me too.
teary-eyed.
No, I'm saying I can't watch this close to Father's Day. It's oh man.
Yeah. Using the cigarette lighter to heat up the can of soup and then talking about Hi Dad soup and all the things that he would spell out, and then when Goofy just like I love you, and I'm like and then Max arranges the Hi Dad in the bottom of the soup can and hands it to his dad. So the next day after they've escaped Bigfoot, they're in this diner, and Goofy proclaims that Max is the official navigator of the trip. And
that diner food looks so good.
It really does.
90s cartoon food was just unbeatable.
It's so good. So he makes Max the official navigator, and he is completely unaware that Max has altered their directions. So the next two places they go, Max and Goofy both kind of like, and the two rebuild their relationship. They're having fun. They ride like a carnival, like a
Yeah.
fair and everything. It's like it's a good time. And then they decide to stay at a motel called the Neptune Inn.
I am obsessed with the Neptune Inn. I am obsessed with it.
It's
It's kitschy. It's cute.
giving
It's
you.
everything.
It's
I know. Like the water bed with the fish in it, the Ariel nightlight,
insane shag rug,
the shag rug, the hot tub. Like I want to be there. I want to be there.
And so while they're staying at the Neptune Inn, Pete and PJ also happen to be there. And PJ and Max, they're hanging out. And then Goofy and Pete hit up the hot tub. And Goofy is told by Pete that he overheard a conversation between Max and PJ about how Max changed the map. So he and Goofy are not heading straight to Idaho, but to Los Angeles instead.
It's the silliest like betrayal. Like we could have probably come up with something better. I don't know what exactly, but it's the silliest thing. He changed the pencil line on the map. Something I never thought I'd say, a strange sentence. I really enjoy the hot tub scene between Pete and Goofy. Like when Goofy's like says something to the effect of like, Max might be the kind of son that like you think a son should be, but he loves me. I was like, that's the thesis of the movie. I love that so much. Like, I know that probably people would say like the scene later between the two of them on the top of the car is like the heart of the movie, but I actually feel like that was it. Like Goofy's just like, I trust him. Like and when I pull back, like Max feels better and like he loves me. I don't know. I love
really that
nice.
Goofy takes that time and he's like,
yeah,
hey, I was trying your advice and it really wasn't working for me. And second I pulled back, it started working.
And it just sets him up to fall then.
I know, but it's also just such a good thing to say because it's like, yeah. What works for one parent and child is not going to work for every parent and child. Everyone's going to have their advice and everyone's going to have what actually works for them.
Yeah, Goofy's a different kind of dad.
He is.
Yeah, I love it.
He is. So at first, Goofy doesn't believe that Pete is telling the truth and that Max is lying.
The drama in this, the way that he just says, like, I don't believe you. It was good stuff. It was good.
And he just can't help but have that sort of like Hadestown doubt comes in moment.
Oof.
And he's in the car, he's resisting, but then the little glove compartment pops open and the map pops out and he can't help but look.
And honestly, the tension leading up to that moment for me, I don't know.
So good.
It was stressing me out. Just like he walks into the room, he kind of just turns the light off, goes to bed, and he's got this vacant look in his eyes.
Also, the lighting of the glove box in both times that the glove box opens up, where it's like, oh, it's a temptation. Like it's very ominous.
Yes, it is.
Very well done.
The drama's doing it for me here.
So much drama. The drama's drumming. And so Goofy realizes that Pete was right and he is stunned and disillusioned and he walks back into the hotel room and doesn't really say anything to Max. The next day, they are heading out. They're hitting the road and they are approaching the Route 66 highway junction where the left road goes to Los Angeles and the right goes to Idaho. And Goofy, still stunned and disillusioned, but trying to hold on to the last little bit of hope that he has,
one more chance.
Is giving Max one more chance to say, which way do we go? Are we going to go left or are we going to go right? And Max is struggling with which way to go because he knows that he's lying to his dad. But in the panic of the moment, Max picks left to Los Angeles. And knowing that Max did not choose the route to Idaho, shattering whatever faith he had left in Max, Goofy becomes angry, stops the car at a viewpoint of the Grand Canyon, and storms off in his anger to think things through. Which is like, it's like kind of devastating.
It is. Angry and disappointed Goofy is very hard for me. It's hard to see that side of Goofy.
Yeah.
We've all kind of had that moment with like our dad or a parent, and it's so painful where they kind of got mad for a second and now they just need to like walk away from you.
Yeah.
Oof.
And like,
Oof.
you know that you did something wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you are pretty sure that they know that you did something wrong, but you're also just like,
Mhm.
we haven't said it
Yeah,
yet.
you're like, will it go away if I pretend that this isn't happening? Oh my God.
But then, of course, Goofy has not put on the emergency brake to the car.
Goofy is goofying.
Because Goofy
Regardless.
is Goofy. And Max, who in his own anger at Goofy's refusal to listen to him, leans against the car and kicks like a tire in frustration. And so then the car starts rolling onto the road. And so as they pursue the car down the road, eventually landing in the Colorado River on the car, they get into a heated argument. They finally start laying everything out. Max realizes that his dad has discovered the switch on the map. And Goofy explains that Principal Mazer called him. And then Max says that he's not a kid anymore and he wants his own life.
Mm.
And then Goofy says, and I just want to be a part of that.
Oh,
Where
man.
he's like, I don't dispute that you should have your own life. I just want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's what that is what this film does really well in like exploring the side of this really ridiculous character. Watching that, like, the more vulnerable side of that ridiculousness, because it's like,
Mhm.
even I think of that moment at the beginning of the movie when he forgets to, like, knock on Max's door and then does it again and
Yeah.
is, like, trying to clean up and just, like, trying to do all of these things and, like, isn't particularly good at all of that either, and he's just probably aware of that he's not that good at it. It's just
Yeah, because it's the navigating the place of when you used to be the person who is responsible for doing everything for the child,
Mhm.
and then the child wants to do more things on their own.
Yeah.
And having to remind yourself to break the habits that you have of like, this is how I've been taking care of a kid. Like, I mean, I even have that with my niece and nephew sometimes where like
Mhm.
I'm used to caring for them a certain way. And then now my nephew will be like, no, I want to do it. And I have to
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
hands off and be like, oh, right, you want to do that.
Mhm.
So it's very, very real. And then it just gets more and more complicated when you're older. But
Yeah.
it's interesting seeing Goofy having that role.
Yeah. And I think from what I read briefly, like when this movie came out, critics were like, "Oh, Goofy deserve better, deserve more." But this is doing something different. It's not a Goofy builds a TV set cartoon, you know. So
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Was the right kind of vulnerability for the kind of character that Goofy
In
is.
many ways, I feel like this kind of set some of the groundwork that then they would continue to play on with like Finding Nemo in
Yeah. Oh,
Pixar,
absolutely.
where it's
Yes.
like,
Yes.
oh, they
Yes.
were looking at this dynamic and then
Hmm.
just sort of like, how do we, what
Yeah.
are the highs, what are the lows? And what if it's like not necessarily about puberty? Like, what if it's not
Yeah.
necessarily about, having a girlfriend, but just sort of like freedom in general, which is
Yeah.
very, very good.
Apparently, the creators of Turning Red were inspired by this movie too, which is super
Oh,
cool.
I would
Yeah.
100% believe that. You can see
Yeah.
that. You can see that all over
Mhm.
that movie.
Yeah.
So the argument concludes with Goofy saying that he just wants to be a part of Max's life as he grows up, and Max explaining why he wanted to go to the Powerline concert in the first place.
Also, the
And
song here is great. I love
yeah,
the
the little duet.
song. I love the duet. I
Yeah.
love the songs.
Finally, understanding Max's problems, Goofy then tells Max he'll take him to Los Angeles. And just then they suddenly realize that they are approaching a waterfall because this is a Goofy cartoon. The car twists around in the waterfall as Goofy and Max try to swim against the waterfall current, and Goofy falls out of the car, and Max goes toward the waterfall on the car. Goofy finds his fishing rod. He gets near Max, jumping on some rocks. Max tries to grab the fishing pole, but he misses. The car crashes into a rock. How this car managed to get home
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
the miracle of the movie.
Mhm.
But the car crashes into a rock. It turns around. Max somehow gets involved in this tarp. Goofy uses the perfect cast to catch the car just before it falls from the waterfall. And as Goofy tries to reel it in, the car's weight pushes him into the waterfall, but he grabs hold of a rock. A scared Max sees to the bottom of the waterfall as Goofy is released from the rock. Car falls, but the tarp turns into a parachute and saves Max's life. Goofy falls, unfortunately. But Max is able to save his dad using the perfect cast.
I loved this callback of that. This is the perfect moment. It
I
was
did too,
so funny.
and I loved that we see them both use the perfect cast on each other. Because if like this whole thing is about, there's some things that Goofy needs to be doing better, and there are some things that Max needs to be doing better, then it makes sense that they both have to do the reach for each other.
Yeah.
And to see Goofy do the perfect cast in order to save Max, and then Max do it to save his dad, I'm like,
there was something so endearing about Max just like falling through the air and like saying the steps of it out loud.
I know.
I don't know. I loved it. It was such a good moment.
So good.
And we also had to have a, wowee
exactly,
moment for
because we also get
Goofy.
the like Yahoo like at the very end when he crashes into Roxanne's house.
I will never stop getting delight out of a wahahooey from Goofy.
Absolutely.
So good.
So Max and Goofy, they reconcile and they both believe that this was a crazy vacation. They still arrive in Los Angeles on the night of the concert. How? I do not know.
We rushed this part a little, I feel. I guess it's like we've gotten into enough capers that we don't need another one exactly. Like we just see that Goofy and Max were in these guitar cases and that's how they got in. But I wanted the whole Powerline concert to be more of an, like the big climax of the movie, more of an event. We get into it so quickly.
Yeah.
Again, it was bigger in my mind from my childhood memories, probably because I loved that sequence so much. I thought it was more of the movie.
Yeah. I mean, it works for, I guess, the story that they're telling, that the climax of the film is what happens on the waterfall. But then eye to eye, like then it does sort of feel like the ending becomes a bit long, where it's like, okay, we're not really doing much else here.
Yeah.
I think there was a way in which eye to eye could have been the climax. Like I could see a world in which a stage musical of a Goofy movie, which I think could actually be kind of cool.
Oh my God.
I think a stage musical would probably get rid of a lot of the waterfall stuff because it's hard to do on stage anyway.
Have the mishaps and the argument and everything coming to a head be
at
there.
the concert. Like be how they get into the concert, how like them maybe getting caught or like this, that, like there are ways to do that and honor that. I get that like they're going for the movie like a road trip vibe.
Yeah.
Makes sense to do Grand Canyon, the symbolism of that all, the canyon between them, all of that stuff. But I think to make the concert sort of like pack a punch.
Yeah. Again, it's like also what we were talking about earlier of like, I just wish Powerline's such a good character. It's proven by the fact that like so many people dress up as Powerline. People wait at some of the Halloween parties when they do roll out Powerline.
The Powerline popcorn bucket. That was
the popcorn bucket or the Power Limes candy that they sell in the parks now. Like they created this fantastic Disney pop star. We do have Gazelle. We have that.
We have Four Town.
We do have Four Town. It's so funny. We should talk about that in an episode of like all of the pop stars of Disney. But I just wanted more Powerline, and I in some way wanted the music of Powerline and what those songs are saying, which I mean is clearly tied to Goofy and Max's story, but I wanted the message of his music and his persona to tie more into the story of Max's journey and like him really be a part of that climax more.
Yeah, and see, I feel like if we had gone the like more Cyrano de Bergerac route with the whole film, then I think that would have happened. I think it almost feels like there were two different movies that were like kind of happening here. And one is Goofy's movie and one is Max's movie. And I think the Goofy movie won out. But
yes, and I get it.
But a lot of the stuff that we were responding to was part of like Max's movie.
Right, because for this Goofy movie about Goofy and Max, it has to be like the big moment has to be Goofy being like, I just want to be a part of your life. And, all of that looks different now and all of that. But I could see if we went for the Max movie.
Yeah.
A moment where Powerline is like, you're cool as you, man. Like, something like that where it's
Yeah.
like, you're cool enough. You don't have to try to be me. You don't have to do this. Just go back and tell that girl what you feel about her. Like I could totally see Powerline like in a very quick exchange. It doesn't have to be drawn out, like giving Max that.
Yeah, or even like a moment where they're trying to get into the Powerline concert and they're struggling, and then they're just like on the side of the road or whatever, and Powerline
Pulls up in
outside
his
of
limo.
or outside of costume, like they're
Oh,
having dinner with them,
yeah.
and he's like, "Hey, come to the Powerline and then they realize that it is Powerline, and
That's
after he's just like
fun.
spouted some advice or
That's
whatever,
fun. That's
or
fun. Yeah, I like that. I needed that. There was something about this that just was like, oh, okay.
Mhm.
Like I'm good with they land on stage and Powerline basically as soon as he sees that they have the moves, like immediately
it's just
accepting them.
like,
I'm down
all
with it. It's
right.
hilarious. But
I mean, we see Lady Gaga do it, where
yeah,
she's like,
it's
"You think you
true.
got what it takes?"
It's
So
true.
good.
That's true. So I'm down with that. But yeah, I would have loved a moment with him in some other setting. Yeah.
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 But we don't get
Are
that.
we thinking too hard about this? Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. It's a debrief. What can I say?
It's a debrief, so we got to go through it all. So they get to it's the night of the concert, and they are stashing like the guitar and music case, the instrument cases, and they're accidentally separated when Max is distracted staring at.
Backup dancer booty. Just stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop. No.
Yeah.
And it's not even like, what bothered me about it? It wasn't even just like teenage boy staring. He was almost like, haha, like that would be even better. I was like, shut up, Max. I would slap him. Slap him.
Get him.
Annoying. Anyway.
So he gets distracted by the background dancers' behinds as they walk past him. And Goofy is pushed into the device Powerline used to enter the stage. And he flies out onto the stage as Powerline is performing his song Eye to Eye.
Ooh.
And as convinced by Max, Goofy does the perfect cast technique in like a freestyle version as dance. And everybody's impressed by it, including Powerline, who then also does it as well and integrates it into his performance. Meanwhile, Max is being chased by a security guard onto the stage's lights, and then he crashes down onto the stage between Goofy and Powerline, much to their surprise. And then the three break into dance with everyone cheering for them. It's a very, very cute.
Yeah. Yeah.
We love a chase sequence, and I think the chase sequence like works.
It was all good for me. Yeah. I
just almost wish like there was like a little bit more of a personal connection with Powerline, like you were
That's
saying.
what I'm saying. Yeah. They was just missing something for me. And I think it was that. Just getting something like, because then you have this feeling of like, it's not that we want to encourage lying, but like, hey, going out on a limb for all this was worth it because then Powerline turned to Max and said this thing that he really needed to hear.
Yeah.
Or even said something to Goofy that Goofy really needed to hear, maybe,
Yeah.
Or like, what if Powerline just like said to Goofy, like, you're a good dad? Nobody ever tells Goofy that. I mean, I guess Max, he needs that from Max, but I don't know. Something. Could have been fun.
Yeah.
More Powerline. More Powerline.
Yeah, more Powerline.
Ah, you
just
can never go wrong.
Such an interesting character.
I know. And that song, it's so good.
That song is fantastic.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So Roxanne, Stacy, PJ, Pete, Bobby, they're all watching the concert from various televisions. They are surprised by the performances. The kids back at home, they were starting to believe that Max was fibbing, which he was. But then he happens to show up, and so suddenly everything is justified and okay. Soon enough, Powerline, the Goofs, and Powerline's backup dancers, they finish eye to eye with a standing ovation from a roaring, cheering audience in the stadium. A few days later, Goofy and Max pull up outside Roxanne's house in the car, which, how?
She's still running. She's still running.
She went off a waterfall. A miracle. I want the resiliency of that car in my daily life. I think I need that. So it's recovered and was pretty much almost repaired, but it's still in very bad shape. And with a pep talk from Goofy, Max reveals to Roxanne that he lied to her about mostly everything, which I think this is like the right move. I was really, really happy that even though everything worked out, Goofy was like, you still need to tell her that you were not telling her the truth. Like, yes, it all happened, but you need to do. And I'm like, that is the more sophisticated, like, my child is now an adult advice that a parent should be giving. And I just really liked because it shows that Goofy's approach to his relationship with Max is shifting to something that is more appropriate for the two of them, where it's like, hey, you may think that you got away with this, but that doesn't excuse you saying that. So you still need to tell her what's what. And I like that a lot. So Max does, and Roxanne pretty much forgives him for everything. And
But she also kind of catches the plot point that I'm like, what? Because she's kind of like, why would you make that up?
yeah.
Like, girl, I thought the same thing. Why was that the lie? I don't know. I don't know.
And she reveals that she has liked Max for a long time, ever since he first laughed his classic "ahyuk," which he was embarrassed about before. So they make a deal not to lie to each other anymore. And she asks him like what he's doing tonight, and he's like, I have something to do with my dad. And he's like, I promise. But he says, how does tomorrow sound for a date? And the two of them are going to go out on a date, and then he gives her a kiss. And then Goofy's car blows up.
Correct, which is just correct. And we get,
and we go.
And his like shoes left behind, which is, I always love that. I love that gag so much. It's the shoes get left behind. You just get totally yeeted out of your shoes.
He really did. And so then he lands through the roof of Roxanne's front porch, and Max introduces Roxanne to his father, and it's very sweet. And
he's like, enchanté,
I
mademoiselle. And I just love Goofy.
Like, Goofy is the type of dad that you want to like meet your
what
your
an ideal father-in-law. I would
like, just so supportive, especially the environment that Roxanne is coming from.
Oh my God, with her toxic ass father. Oh my God.
Which I'm like,
best thing to ever happen to Roxanne is honestly Goofy.
Honestly, maybe
not even Max.
Send Max to live with Roxanne's dad for a little bit. Maybe he'll be a little bit more appreciative of Goofy.
Oh man.
So that's the movie, basically, beat by beat. But
tell me what you feel. What do you feel like? Where does this fit for you in terms of like, will you ever watch this again? And if so, like, what's the environment? What's the timing? What, like, if you would?
I mean, I would watch this movie again. I think it's a super fun. It's a great summer movie.
It's a perfect summer movie.
It's a perfect summer movie. And
it's a 90s summer movie. Yeah.
Some of the laughs in this are just wholly unique laughs that we've never really seen anywhere else in Disney before. Like the Bigfoot stuff, it's just so stupid. And it goes on for a while. And
it does.
I'm like,
that's the part of it that specifically that scene feels like a classic Goofy cartoon.
Yeah. I think that's the thing that the movie did really, really well. If they're setting out to say, how do we link a bunch of like classic Goofy cartoons together?
A road trip is smart.
Brilliant. And so I think they like pulled that off so well. I think once they added like some of the Max stuff, then it's like, oh, I think because Goofy was actually not part of the opening number. I think that is what sort of like threw me off, because I was like, oh, it's all about Max's perspective. Yeah, it's very Grease. But it would have been
school environment. Yeah.
It would have been very interesting, because this movie is about both of them, is if that number somehow reflected Max going to school and everything, and then Goofy like going to work and everything. Like if it was like if it had like a little like little shop moment where like Audrey is looking out and Seymour's looking out, like a little bit of both of that. I think it could have used that. And I think because it didn't have it, my expectations started getting skewed way towards Max's storyline, when that's not actually what the movie is about.
Right.
It's not about his bravery to try and profess his love for someone, or feel that he is not enough, or this, that, and the other. It's about his relationship with his father, which kind of takes the back seat in the beginning half of the film until they start the road trip.
And we do bring up the theme of him feeling invisible, not enough as him. We talked about this earlier, but I guess I wish, because again, we do need to keep bringing it back to it being a movie about Goofy and Max's relationship. I wish Goofy could have taught him that. I wish not just like that they repaired like, hey, let's be in each other's lives more as you become an adult. I wish Goofy could have taught Max in some way that he is enough as he
Yeah,
is.
like when he's like, "Oh, I did this whole power line thing." I think it could have been like a simple thing as like Goofy saying, "Oh, that's awesome that you did his power line. Why didn't you do it as yourself though, Max?"
Mm-hmm.
And Max being like, "Well, I couldn't have done that." And then Goofy could say something like, "Well, of course you could. You
Yeah,
can
because
do
I feel like,
anything." Like, you're like,
yeah, and I feel like very Goofy very much like accepts himself.
"Mm-hmm.
And then, and part of that is in there of like Max fearing the parts of his dad that are in him. And like, yeah, I wish Goofy was part of the journey of like accepting that and being like, it's good enough. It's all like,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I
Mm.
get that. I get that."
Maybe it's too serious. Maybe that is too damn serious for this movie.
Well, see, I think that's the trap of the movie in general is that
Mm-hmm.
there are moments of like just extreme comedy and like not taking itself seriously, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is not really serious." But then there are like really, really, really deep moments in this,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it gets hard for some people like us to ride that roller coaster of like, okay, don't think too hard about all of these things, but then we also want you to feel the emotion in these
Yeah.
parts where it's like,
Yeah.
I kind of need either a little bit more logic or to feel a little bit less in order to kind of like ride
Yeah.
this. The
Yeah.
highs and the lows are just like a little too, they're not as
Mm-hmm.
quite as graduated
Yes.
as I
Yes.
want them to be. It feels a little
Mm-hmm.
sharp. But
Yeah.
I I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was super funny. The freaking Lester's Possum Park. I watched that scene
Good.
so many times. I think it's absolutely
So
hilarious.
good. I knew you would love that. I knew
It's
you would
just
love that.
everything. I mean, the giant possum with its
The kitsch of it
mouth
all.
open, the child
Yeah, that's
screaming,
so
getting
you.
dragged in. I was like,
It's so you. It's so you.
it's so funny. It's so funny. And honestly, I really liked the Bigfoot scene too. The Bigfoot scene just
Oh
like
my
really got me.
god.
I'm like, this is so stupid. And it's going on for like, it's just so
What do
stupid
you
and funny.
think makes this a cult classic? Why do you think so many people in our Instagram story were like, goofy movie, you need to watch this?
I think it's the nostalgia of it for
Do
sure.
too. That's to me, I'm gonna like that's the value of it for me. I
Yeah.
love the music. I
Hmm.
freaking love all of the music, not just the stuff from Powerline. I
I
love it
love the
all.
art.
I love the look of it, and I love the nostalgia, the very 90s storyline, the very 90s look of it all. That's the value of it
I
for
agree.
me. In the
That's what
Disney,
it
like,
is for
movie
me.
lineup, I'm like, "Yeah,
And I get why
yeah."
there are a lot of people who have it so high for themselves, and I
Mhm.
think I'm not one of those people. It is not one of my
Yeah.
absolute favorite Disney films, and I think part of that is because I don't have that attachment from watching it on home video for so many years, like over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I think looking at it like right now, watching it like as a movie, I think it is a perfectly good movie. Like it is a fun, good movie. It is not the best that I've ever seen, but I'm
Yeah.
glad that I've watched it.
Yes, I'm glad that you did too, and now I'm also very interested to watch Not Just a Goof, the documentary about making this movie because I'm like,
Yeah.
what went down? Like,
Yeah.
what is it? Was there what? What's the interesting piece of it? I think
How did
that will
they come
actually give
up with
me
Lester's Possum
I
Park?
know, I hope that's a part of
That's what
it.
I wanna know.
I think that will end up giving me more of an appreciation for this movie. Yeah, for me it's the music. That's again, like I said, the road trip song is the thing that is like seared
Yeah.
into my memory as a kid and I think I didn't latch onto this movie as much maybe again because I didn't watch a ton of Goof Troop, but
Mhm.
also not for nothing like I was latching more onto things with more female characters when I was younger.
Fair enough.
So, that was part of it for me
And
too.
ones
But
that
I
just don't
loved like
always feel so sexualized.
sexualized. Cause Roxanne is.
She
Sorry, but
is.
she is. I don't really know
I
anything about
mean,
her personality, but
even her best friend, the school president, is in
yeah,
that. I mean, it made me laugh.
she was funny. Yeah, yeah.
But the moment when she's giving her speech and then the like nerd with all the pimples is just like, hey, hey, like like
Yeah,
calling out at her. I'm
mhm.
like,
Yeah, yeah.
oh wow, nobody can escape it.
It's truly, truly. But I was a big fan of Goofy cartoons. Like, the Goofy cartoons that they would put into House of Mouse were a highlight
Hmm.
for me. every time that there was a Goofy one, I was like,
Like a
hell
goofy
yeah.
how-to, like
Yeah, the Goofy how-to videos were like my favorite freaking thing. And yeah, what we were talking about, this can't be that. We're going for something deeper here, but that brings me much more delight than
Yeah.
this movie, aside from the freaking Powerline music, because that is the shit. It's so good.
I agree with you. So yeah, I'm extremely, extremely glad that I've seen this movie. I will watch it again. I think it's a lot of fun. It's probably going to be like a summer movie that I watch, or like if I need to put something on that's just like kind of lighter in the background. It did not make me like fully cry. I mean, I definitely like teared up during the like Hi Dad Soup.
That
But
was sweet.
um
I also wouldn't put this on the way that I put on Mickey shorts when you need
no.
something that's like comfort. It's not comfort. I don't know why. Again, because I did grow up with it in some way. Like, it doesn't bring me that same joy and comfort that those Mickey shorts do. I love those damn things. I love them.
I know what you mean. Though the animation style brings me
Oh,
so much
brings me
comfort.
back, baby. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I
Oh
think
my
that's why,
God.
because a lot of this is sort of like the like Don Bluth of it all, like
Mm-hmm.
the sort of
Jeffrey
like the
Katzenberg.
Katzenberg, Silver
Yeah.
Screen Partners stuff that
Yeah.
harkens to like my love for Rescuers and Great Mouse
Yes.
Detective
While
and
also
that
like giving
style.
me like, reminding me of all the things I loved about like Hey Arnold and other
Right,
school
right,
thing.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think I did watch some of Goof Troop, but Goof Troop was not. I was a DuckTales kid. Like I was a
Oh my
DuckTales and I was a
God.
Tailspin
Yeah.
kid
Yeah. Oh my God.
because
Yeah.
Donald Duck's my boy. But I will say, watching a Goofy movie on mine and Donald Duck's birthday was not something that I regret.
Oh, I'm also just so excited that it's like again, this is something that's very much a cult favorite for people, and now it's like you've caught up with that. And there's, I'm sorry for you. There's a couple of other movies on that list that you haven't seen that we're gonna have to get to
I know.
very soon.
It was very vulnerable to write
I
out
was
some
gonna
of the
say I'm
things
so
that like
proud of
I
you
haven't seen.
because I have those as well. That I will have to just to make it fair go out there and acknowledge as well that like pretty big Disney movies that I've only seen parts of.
And listen, you can be huge Disney fans who have a podcast and not have seen every single Disney movie.
That's right. That's right. We're here to grow. We're here to experience new things, and we will continue to do that.
Because otherwise you wouldn't have gotten my first unfiltered thoughts of watching a Goofy
Yeah.
movie.
Well, I'll be vulnerable right now. I am pretty sure that a movie on your favorites list I have only seen parts of, and that is Bedknobs and Broomsticks. I do not think I have ever watched that all the way through. I've only seen parts of it.
What?
There you go. A vulnerability for you for your birthday.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yep. So I was kind of rooting for Bedknobs and Broomsticks when we were voting because I wanted to like sit down and watch that.
All right. Well,
So we
debrief coming
we
for a
will.
future
We
date.
will.
We're going to be talking Bedknobs and Broomsticks at some point. We have
Yes.
to.
Oh my
We
gosh.
have to.
We do. We absolutely do.
So good.
Connor, happy birthday. I hope you
Thank
enjoyed this
you.
more than I sometimes don't enjoy my birthday bonus, which involves playing a really torturous game. So I hope you had
But
fun.
you've done really well these past couple times we've done it. So whatever. But no, I really enjoyed this. This was very fun.
All right. We always try to think of a theme. So I think this year was goofy.
Goofy. It's very, I wish I looked like that dog.
Absolutely.
Because these dogs were hot.
These dogs, I wish I looked like these dogs.
I wish I looked like these dogs. Well, that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. If you liked what you heard, please remember to hit follow or subscribe wherever you're listening to the podcast. That way all of our episodes download to your device and you don't miss out on anything. And then this is that moment. Hit 5 stars, leave a written review wherever you're listening to the podcast. It helps us get seen in search results. It helps other people find the podcast. And it's a really nice little birthday present for me.
Yeah, like send him a little prezi, please. I'm begging you.
Thank you.
As I always say, please follow us on social media. That is how we decided what to do for this episode. Like I said earlier, Instagram is really the place where we're going to solicit ideas for episodes, but truly, whatever social media platform you're on, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, just reach out to us on any of those. We do want to hear from you. Please follow us. If you're trying to introduce somebody to the podcast, sharing a little post from Instagram is a great way to do that too. We post clips, we post fun little reels. that would be a great intro to the podcast. But if you want to have even more in-depth discussion about these episodes, please join our private Facebook group, The Poor Unfortunate Fam. We have over 100 members in there. We kind of introduced the idea that we were going to be voting on a movie for this episode to them first, so they kind of were aware of that. So you get some, little tidbits and early news and things like that if you are in the fam. And I guess I've been thinking about this, so I'll throw this in as well. If there are any other ways that you would like to connect with us, like on other platforms or like other places where you want to speak with other Poor Unfortunate podcast listeners and you have ideas for that, we are always open, because I know it's like a lot of us don't go on Facebook anymore. So if there are other places where we can keep the discussion going and you have thoughts, please just let us know.
And if you're looking for merch, the Poor Unfortunate shop is open. PoorUnfortunatePodcast.com/shop. T-shirts, hats, water bottles. If you're heading to the parks this summer, we've got you covered. So go check out some things there and get your Poor Unfortunate podcast gear.
Mm-hmm.
And as I always say, it takes us a little bit of money to keep the podcast up and running and coming to you. We do have a PayPal account. It is linked in our episode description and in the website links in our social media accounts. Truly, anything they have to spare goes a long, long way for us. It could be $1, $5, $10, more than that. It could be a one-time donation. It could be a monthly donation. It all just goes right back into the podcast, helping us keep it free and ad-free for the most part. And to all of our monthly donors, thank you so much for everything that you do. We wouldn't be able to do this without you. All right. That's it for this episode. Thank you so much. Thank you for all of the birthday love.
Birthday.
Thank you.
We love you so much.
And until next time, Beluga Sevruga.